Hey, everybody. It's the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm Aaron Mate, sitting in for Jimmy. I'm here with Scott Ritter, former Marine Corps intelligence officer and UN weapons inspector. And you know how, the dominant narrative we get about Russia's goals in Ukraine is to basically take over the country, that Russia doesn't see Ukraine as its own state and wants to basically reconstitute the Soviet Empire. Well, here's a contrary point of view from a guy named Dan Rice, and he is a special advisor to the Ukrainian commander-in-chief. He's an American who's advising the Ukrainian military. And this is what he said on CNN about Russia's goals in Ukraine.
But they're attacking the cities, trying to attack the grid, making it a very difficult winter. They're trying to, in my opinion, trying to get to the negotiating table to try to go back to the 2014 lines. Ukraine won't have it. Ukraine wants all of their land back to the 91 lines. They really need air defense systems. They need aircraft.
So, Scott Ritter, if you could explain that for us. Here is an advisor to the Ukrainian commander-in-chief saying that Russia's goal is to get back to the 2014 lines, whereas Ukraine wants all of their territory back. Presumably, he means getting back Crimea, which Russia annexed back in 2014. So did you find that comment interesting, that given that this is coming from an advisor to the Ukrainian commander, he's saying that Russia only wants the lines that were there in 2014?
Well, I mean, I don't doubt the sincerity of this man. He's obviously somebody who is an advisor, a special advisor to the Ukrainian commander-in-chief. I assume that means President Zelensky. And we've seen Zelensky say the same things. Zelensky saying that I will only accept peace when Russia returns all the territories, including Crimea. So if he's a special advisor, I can't expect him to deviate from the message of his boss. It wouldn't happen here in the United States, so it's not going to happen in Ukraine. So let's, instead of focusing on Rice, let's focus on Zelensky. Zelensky's in an impossible position. He was prepared to negotiate a settlement on April 1st that would have given Russia the Donbass and Crimea. Now he's taken an extremist position. Why? What's the reason? Because this isn't a conflict about Ukraine's future. This is a conflict that was transformed in May, according to Lloyd Austin, into a war whose sole purpose was to bring pain to Russia. See, the Ukrainian conflict isn't about restoring territory to Ukraine or anything like that. It's about hurting Russia. It's about bringing so much pain to Russia that Russia will never again consider undertaking an operation such as the special military operation. This is about bleeding Russia dry. This is about fighting, as Lindsey Graham has infamously said, to the last Ukrainian. Zelensky has no choice but to buy into that model, because if he deviates from that, he doesn't get the nice face, Lindsey. I'm sorry, I just saw the picture.
Well, let me play it for you, Scott. Let's play for people the clip for those who haven't seen Lindsey Graham say this, bragging about what the U.S. strategy is in Ukraine.
4 months into this thing, I like the structural path we're on here. As long as we help Ukraine with the weapons they need and the economic support, they will fight to the last person.
Isn't it refreshing that someone says it out loud instead of the Democrats who pretend that they favor diplomacy? Here's someone openly admitting what exactly the U.S. goal is in Ukraine: to fight Russia to the last person. As long as we provide Ukraine with the weapons, they'll fight Russia to the last person. Sorry, Scott, go ahead.
No, I mean, it's sickening, to be honest. Look, I'm not a pacifist. I hate war. I wish wars weren't fought. But if they're going to be fought, then you fight them to win. I'll be the first person to say that I am impressed with the resilience of the Ukrainian military, that they have performed in a spectacular manner. They have absorbed this equipment. They've absorbed the training. And you can't knock the courage of men who are willing to give up their lives in defense of their country. The problem is a lot of them are giving up their lives in defense of their country. A lot more of them are dying than the Russians. So I don't know what game Lindsey Graham and everybody else is playing. If they think that the Ukrainians, by sacrificing Ukrainian life, they will somehow inflict so many casualties on the Russians that the Russians will quit before Ukraine quits, they're wrong. The Russians are achieving casualty ratios that are unimaginable, sickening if you have any humanity in you. 10 to 15 Ukrainians are dying for every Russian dying by some calculations, which I happen to support. But the fact is, Ukrainians will die to the last Ukrainian if this policy is continued. Fortunately for Ukraine, hey, Lindsay, how much ammunition does the United States have left to give the Ukraine? How much more 155 millimeter artillery ammunition do we have, Lindsay? Have we expended ammunition at a higher rate than we can produce it? Have we reached dangerously into American stockpiles? Can America sustain a ground-based conflict in Europe for more than 2 weeks before running out of ammunition? Answer that question, Lindsay. And now ask yourself, in addition to asking the Ukrainians to die to the last Ukraine, have you put American national security at risk by carrying out this irresponsible policy? How many HIMARS munitions do we have? Where are the HIMARS systems coming from that we've given to Ukraine? Did you strip them away from Marine Corps units? So can the Marine Corps now carry out its assigned mission effectively, or have we degraded it by giving away our systems? The M777 howitzers, where did they come from, Lindsay? You know, the point is, we've stripped ourselves virtually naked on certain aspects of our defense capacity, especially when it comes to long-range strike, systems like the M777 and HIMARS, and so has Europe. Europe is out of ammunition. They're out of guns. Even the Baltic countries, who are very, very sympathetic to Ukrainians, have said, we can't provide our, this anti-aircraft system because if we do so, we won't have anything to defend ourselves.
Hey, we're going to see you in Miami, West Palm Beach, Denver, Palm Springs, Austin, Burbank. That's right, the Saturday after Thanksgiving here in Burbank, and lots of dates in Los Angeles in December. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for all our tickets and join our premium program when you go there too.